And this is the show that is the current affairs, and I'll be doing this with you together, and also make sure that whatever we're able to discuss here should be able to really transform lives outside there, but also what is very, very important. Which story did you miss yesterday, and also what is it that is happening across the globe that you'll be able to get it right here. And this is what we do every Monday to Friday, and those who are watching us within Arua City, we say thank you very, very much for being part of this show every day, and that is the time which I actually earlier told you, and we appreciate that many times people come into our inboxes, and also we hope that you should be able to share with us this when we are running the show, not after the show. But it's also important to know where you are watching us from, and it's very, very important to get you there live, but also those who are really watching us from Arua District. Yesterday was the International Day for Persons with Disabilities, a day commemoration for Arua District, and we really are glad that the day was successful, and also a lot of things were done there. We'll be moving to the recap of that, and also remember yesterday the regional launch for the sensitization exercise for local governments across the region, especially the 11 districts that have been really targeted in the Western region, was held yesterday official. This was flagged off by the State Minister for Northern Uganda, that is Grace Freedom Kuchin, who really presided over this, and also the Grow project. Remember, that project is worth 217 million Ugandan, actually US dollars, financed fully by World Bank, and this will be partly a grant and also partly a loan for women entrepreneurs. I will be moving to that and also see what messages really shaped the discussions in that event, and also really understand how beneficial this project will be able to really be able to impact on the women that we have in this country. Remember, that money is for the women in all the districts across the country. Remember, the districts like Arua and the city, that is Arua City, will all converge at Gulu today for another discussions. That is for the sensitization messages that they will be receiving from Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. Remember, this is really how they are going to really roll out this campaign to make sure that all the women, all the rural women, or whoever who is doing an enterprise that is women-led will be able to tap into that grant, and also maybe you'll be able to benefit from that loan at an affordable rate from government of Uganda. And that's what we will be coming to discuss. Remember, there's already a response given by government in regards to the issues to do with the road maintenance or road situation in the Western region, and through the minister, the state minister for Northern Uganda, there were already hopes that these roads are soon going to be rehabilitated and also tarmacked, and the contractor for the road that is linking Koboko to Moyo district via Yumbe has already been awarded. This is after the previous contractor really messed up in some of the procedures and has been laid off before signing the contract, and that is one thing that is actually happening there. And many other roads are going to be rehabilitated, and we'll be moving forward to see what actually the minister mentioned about these roads, and especially the major roads that we have in this region. So pay keen attention as we move forward with the discussions, and also updating you on current affairs. You'll be able to get to hear or see what the minister actually said, and which roads were mentioned and which roads have not been captured by government currently to do major upgrading. And that is what we are going to be having in the subsequent hours. But also there are already so many issues that are happening across the country. Remember, there's a man who was jailed for, actually who was sentenced for 105 years for aggravated for continuous killings. Okay, he killed like 3 girlfriends of his, including 1 child, and that's one big story there that is rocking Uganda, the country that is actually said to be peaceful, but there are some individuals who are still really violating the principles of running the country. So it is against that background that this person has been really sentenced for 105 years. So that is another story here that is happening. And also the president of this country, that is His Excellency Yoweri Museveni Kaguta, has confirmed that there have been over 200 ADF rebels that have been killed by the Uganda People's Defense Forces in DRC, that is during the operations in September this year. And that is one big announcement that is also making rounds. And also, for those of you who really want to get to know what is actually happening across the globe, we have seen the government of Canada increasing the cost for international students up from 10,000 Canadian dollars to that is 20,000, over 20,000 Canadian dollars. That is an equivalent of 51 million Ugandan, over 51 million Ugandan shillings. So if you're planning to go to do or to go for study in Canada, that's what you are going to pay, and that is expected to cut off a number of countries, including those in low income status, from sending their learners to go and study in Canada. And it is estimated that 75% of the low income countries will be able to have their students studying in Canada. This is one big story there that is happening in Canada, but also many others that we'll be moving into. But before we move into this, let me say thank you for joining the show, and those who are watching us in other parts of Western region, not forgetting those in Marasa Terego, Yumbe, Koboko, Jumani, Moyo, and Pakwach, and then those not for those around and Zomo. We say thank you very, very much, and also not forgetting those from Lango and the Cholsa regions who are catching us live now, and those from Hoima City, and especially those from Eastern and also Central Western Uganda. We say thank you very, very much, and those from the diaspora, I appreciate your attention that you are paying to this show, but also knowing very well that what is actually happening currently is what we'll be going with, and we'll be bringing you more updates in the subsequent hours. Let's take a break from here. We'll be able to come back to deliberate on all, really to bring you updates on some of the issues that are happening. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Sub your family the bigger feast this Christmas with StarTimes upgrade to Kongere promotion. Nova customers on satellite decoder simply pay 20,000 shillings special bouquet monthly subscription to enjoy smart bouquet for free. Enjoy variety of entertainment including Hello Mr. Right on Makula Chika, Kazanya Kukazanyo on Makula, animations and cartoons on Boeing, series on TLC and Star Life. So make this the unforgettable holiday. More content, happier family.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break. Earlier I introduced to you a series of issues that are happening, but most importantly, let's move to the issues to do with the road rehabilitation. Remember, the roads that are in Western region have always been in a deplorable state, where a lot of concerns have been raised to government on why these roads continue not to be rehabilitated or even tarmacked, okay, especially the roads linking Koboko to Moyo district via Yumbe district, but also the road that is linking Rua city to Obongi district via Terego district, where that from Manibe roundabout, where you see a lot of hiccups in terms of gullies, in terms of potholes that you always see on these untarmacked roads, and many other roads like the one from Zombo to Rua district, that is Vura Customs, and also many other roads that we have in the region that have been in deplorable state. But also remember, in the past 8 months, there were cases of accidents that have been seen on Rua Pakwats Highway that has been really so grave. And you remember the accident that was involving baby coach and 2 pedestrians, one who died on spot. This was after the driver said because of his speed and also abruptly seeing the pothole, he had to branch actually negotiate that pothole, which eventually led to the car smashing into the pedestrians, where one woman actually died around Okolo Trading Center. And if you are keen enough, if you remember that 4 members of parliament from Western region were involved in accident on this road, and this is also another worrying factor that has been always there. But let's move to get responses from government about really what they are planned to do in terms of upgrading the roads, but also ensuring that they are rehabilitated. Let's move to that speech that was delivered by the State Minister for Northern Uganda, that is Honorable Grace Freedom Kuchin, during the sensitization exercise that was launched at Muni University yesterday on the Grow project. Yeah, let's move there to the production and see what actually she mentioned, which roads are going to be really maintained, and which roads are going to be rehabilitated, which ones are going to be tarmacked. That is it. Let's move there.
Last Monday in Cabinet, the President directed the Minister of Works to look for money for the road between Nebi and Arua for repairs, and Nebi and Goli for start of the long road which goes through Zombo to Vora. The road from Ajumani, Moyo, Yumbe, Koboko, the contract transaction is almost done. When we raised the issue, they told us not to talk about it anymore because it is almost done. But I want to apologize for the fact that the first contract did not move efficiently. That is why it was halted, and a new contract procurement was started. So we were told this one is moving well, we should not worry. So by next year, we should be able to see the works on the road start.
That you have been able to get, and you remember the roads that have been mentioned, and also what is going to be done there. And maybe for those of you who did not get it well, those roads are going to be really upgraded in terms of tarmacking, in terms of the marams that are going to be put, but also patching is going to be done on some of or minor repairs. In some simple terms, people say minor repairs or rehabilitation. Yeah, but technically the engineering term says patching on those roads. Where the potholes are, they're going to fill them with some gravels or some better tarmacking materials. Okay, those are the terms they use, and this is geared towards reducing the cost and also the issues of accidents on this road. But also government has a long plan, or in the long run a plan of afresh going to make sure that this road is tarmacked, and that's what is there in pipeline. But also this mentions by the state minister clearly indicate that there's already a commitment and assurance that these roads are going to be really improved. So we should be calm as we wait for the steps to be taken. And as you clearly heard it from her, that a lot of things are being done in the country, but you know the priorities are so many that all the regions need this urgently. So if we are able to get at least 2 or 3 roads that are going to be upgraded, and these are major roads, is a plus for us. That means our leaders are trying their best to really push our agenda. So we should be able to appreciate that, especially those from Western region. But also, if you look at the general outlook of the roads in this region, but also across the country, you remember the same situation in Kampala, Greater Kampala metropolitan area, where you see a lot of concerns coming from Wakiso district, even Kampala district, and many other areas where people are complaining about the tarmac roads having a lot of gullies already established themselves there, and also the potholes that you see have actually created like some lakes, okay, where water accumulates there, and so on. Many times people fear to even cross some of those with their bicycles, with their motorcycles, and so on. That is what we should be able to really look at if we want to really see this country go far, and also many things be taking place, and also a number of things happening that we should be able to understand, and also see that we are able to continuously pester or push our agenda of doing a lot of things for this country. Once we want to really develop, we should be able to use the rightful channels of asking for things from government. Government is just like a father in your home, and you as a son, and maybe if your books are filled up with writing and you need another book, you can use different ways. You can either talk to your elder brother, or you talk to your mother, or even if you have good manners and good relationship with your father, you can just move straight to your father and ask him slowly, okay, using the mild words and also those that convince someone to give you something. So that's one thing you should be able to, we should be able to understand. It's not that we should be criticizing government every time that we want to get something. We can use rightful ways to act, to get things, but also using different channels in the rightful way is one thing we should be able to do. I remember government has different various priorities that she is interested in, and also the value that is attached to whatever you're asking for is what is most important to this country. That is where they will be able to really inject money to do some of those kind of things. And it's very important that to know that we are able to now at least get that assurance from the state minister that these roads are going to be upgraded, or at least the face is going to be changed. So that is one thing we should be able to understand, and also make sure that since these are going to be done, we should be able to look at the utilization aspect. The way we use these roads is how they are going to last. But if they are going to be maybe improved, and we also use them recklessly, I mean, there are sometimes you see people do not want to use the roads in the rightful way, especially those who are sometimes overspeeding, overloading their cars. There are some people who take more tonnage than expected, and this affects the state of these roads. Sometimes you see these truck drivers, especially those that are on transit, they overload the vehicles, but eventually you realize that the impact is felt on this tarmac, and they wear out very quickly, and it affects the durability or the longevity of the tarmac from staying for long, or maybe it's been at least staying for a longer period of time. And that's how we should be able to really look at the usage of what we have. If we want to really at least get more resources, we should not be always requesting for the same thing each and every time when it has not lasted for long. But also the contractors that are being brought to come and work on these roads, we should be able to really do the rightful thing. Instead of cutting costs in order to save a lot of money, let's better inject more money and do the rightful thing in the rightful quantity, the rightful quality, and also you will be recalled for doing a very good job on these roads. And also we have seen many being chased away because they did bad job, and you'll get your recommendations from the regional leaders. This is after seeing the output that you have been able to do, maybe lasting for quite a longer period of time. It is worth appreciating once people see that whatever you have been able to do has been able to help them for a longer period of time. You are free to actually get that blessing from the leaders or even the citizens who use these roads. And it's very, very important for you to also learn that, to understand that as we have the roads tarmacked, this aspect of people using these roads as markets, using them for putting their foodstuff, for maybe for putting their businesses, especially the pedestrian walkways, is another thing that is actually forcing many people knock themselves on the roads, accidents happening and so on. These are things that push people to those kind of things. So we should be able to really look at the utilization aspect of these things. But also, as these roads are being improved, and you have other infrastructures that are on these roads, including the bridges that are always collapsing because of the sand mining aspect. I earlier told you that due to sand mining, we have been able to see bridges collapsing. We have been able to see culverts not really working or achieving their targets, where the running water or the rivers or streams that we have tend to push now a lot of force and break down some of these bridges. And this is really what we should be able to tell our citizens, or wherever you come from, tell your neighbor, tell your voters who are dealing in this sand mining to really look at, to be considerate on the issues of the regulations that have been put or prescribed in the law, to ensure that we protect some of these infrastructures that have been established, but also make sure that they last for longer period of time. But also remember the issues of local governments, given the mandate now to start regularizing or ensuring that the issues of sand mining, the issues of stone quarrying, and also many other mining activities do not take place in the blue. Like, I mean, people doing them illegally. What they do is not known, and where the environmental impacts are not assessed and shown is that one thing that government is now pushing forward. So this should be taken up by local governments to ensure that at least they protect the infrastructure that is being established. Remember, these are trillion projects, billion projects that are rolled throughout the country. You remember the issues of other priorities that also need urgent attention, including health, education, and many other things, including also other social services that need to be improved. So if we are always lobbying for things that are so much draining money from the central coffers, it is quite very, very bad when we don't even care about the infrastructure that have been established. So we should be able to do that together, and also make sure that we achieve the targets of this country growing and also achieving that middle income status. We will only achieve this when we work together as stakeholders, especially I'm talking about the community, the leaders, and also those in the ministries, departments, and agencies. If we are genuinely working and also transparently and accountably really doing those kind of things, we'll be able to really do it very far. And also what we do, the impact can be felt by that rural person that needs attention, or maybe in terms of referrals, he can be able to reach the hospitals very fast, and life can be saved. And also people who want to go to school, because of good roads, they will be able to access education at a low cost. And also those who want to maybe move to the markets, remember the issues of the concerns of the farmers, that there are no good routes that they can be able to really go and link their produce or products from the market to from the farms to the market. And this is one thing that has been affecting. And also the market linkages can only be done when we have roads that are well maintained, when we have also the efficient transport systems for these farmers. And that's really one thing that you will always see, that it will be able to increase a household income, but also improve the economy of this country. Remember, we have always for long not been able to achieve the target, the growth target that have been able to set, especially the economic growth target for this country, where we're still limping below 6%, and yet we have a target of 7.7% that we want to achieve next financial year. And this can only be achieved when the citizens are at least increasing their income levels, and they are able to pay taxes. So when people pay taxes, they should be able to appreciate that they are able to, in return, get social services delivered at their midst, okay, at their vicinities. And the cost of accessing social services is not really so much, and that is one thing that people will be able to really be appreciating, and be able to freely now come openly to pay taxes, will be able to commit to develop the nation with a government at a very minimal cost, okay? There will be nothing like forcing people to pay taxes. There will be nothing like maybe engaging people or maybe involving in ruckus with people, or where people feel like the URA is their enemy, where people feel like even the local government enforcement teams are their enemy. Those are things that you always see that come when people do not really want to pay taxes due to maybe the impact not being felt by the citizens. And those are things that we should be able to really employ, or really be able to do. For us to account to the people, it is only through the service delivery gaps. Once they are able to be filled, that's when people will be able to appreciate that the taxes they are paying are able to, in return, give them something to do. But also, what about the issues to do with the attitude of the citizens generally? This is another thing that we should be able to really fight. We should be able to change, okay? In case people are able to pay the taxes, what about the appropriation? How much does each region get? And these regional imbalances bring about these kind of things. Many times people fail to pay because they feel like some regions are developed, more developed than others. Others are really just lagging behind. So how do you balance that in the board? as they also keep on paying taxes. People can always be motivated to pay taxes when you improve services, when you are able to transparently account to them that this is our target, we have been able to achieve it, we say thank you for this. And because of this, we are going to give you maybe extra classrooms, extra roads to be tarmacked, extra maybe this kind of things. And because that is done, you will see that people will always turn positively towards those kind of government programs, and also towards even supporting government. We have seen some individuals giving and lending money to the government in this country. You remember the stories of Pony, who was able to really lend government money during COVID-19, and also many other people, big tycoons in this country, who were able to at least support the country in the trying moments. And that is the spirit we want to see, where individuals or cooperatives within the country are able to support the country in terms of financing the supplementary budgets to maybe cater for an emergency or to fill the budget gaps. And that is one thing we should be able to really do to reduce the budget or the burden of some of the burden or the debt burden on the country. So that way we'll be able to develop, we'll be able to do a lot, we'll be able to progress in terms of those kind of things. But let's leave the issues of the roads there. Remember, I earlier told you that the country is currently rolling out the campaign about empowering women in terms of their enterprises, and also making sure that people are able to really grow in the labor market. Remember, the employment statistics in this country are seen to be really very bad on the side of the women. If you look at the data that has been disseminated by Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, you will realize that many people, especially the women and girls, are still behind in terms of employment. It's a ratio of 3 out of 10 women in this country that have been employed, against the ratio of that is 6 out of 10 among the men who are employed in the country. And that brings an annual earnings for the employed women standing at 1.6 million Ugandan shillings. That is annually medium income level of the women in the country is seen. But also against 3 million Ugandan shillings for men, and that is a very great gap. And further, if you look at that statistics, it's actually highlighting that more women are in the private sector doing their own jobs, okay, than the men who are employed in the government available opportunities, and also the civil society, and also many other non-governmental organizations that have been able to accommodate men. And this is a rich background that has actually forced the country to come up with a project that is generating growth opportunities for the women enterprises, and that is termed to be growth project, which is being rolled out. And this project is going to run up to the year that is 2027, and in this the money that World Bank has been able to advance is $217 million, an approximate of 185 billion, yes, a billion Ugandan shillings. This will be able to move to all the local governments in the country, and also targeting women enterprises. And if you have maybe an enterprise that is a family and that is led by women, and 51% of the people in that business are men, actually are women, that business qualifies to be financed under this project. And that is what is actually happening right now. And the regional meetings are being held to sensitize local governments on how to roll out this project, and also a lot of things are being done to ensure that people are able to really get that to their doors. So $40 million of this project is going to move to the refugee hosting districts, and also to help also the refugees and the host communities to benefit from that project specifically. And this will be able to help in financing the already established businesses and not the businesses that are yet to be established. But also, even if it is one woman who is having a business, she can be able to apply for this loan. But part of this will be grant, and part of it will be loans that will be given by private commercial banks or microfinancial institutions that have been approved, especially Stanbic Bank and Post Bank, that are going to be championing this. Let's take a break from here. We'll be coming back and discussing a lot of things to do with the education and also what you need to know on the current affairs that is happening now. Thank you. Let's take a break.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Serve your family the bigger feast this Christmas with StarTimes upgrade to Kongere promotion. Nova customers on satellite decoder simply pay 20,000 shillings special bouquet monthly subscription to enjoy smart bouquet for free. Enjoy variety of entertainment including Hello Mr. Right on Makula Chika, Kazanya Kukazanyo on Makula, animations and cartoons on Boeing, series on TLC and Star Life. So make this the unforgettable holiday. More content, help your family. Serve your family the bigger feast this Christmas with StarTimes upgrade to Kongere promotion. Nova customers on antenna decoder simply pay 16,000 shillings copper bouquet monthly subscription to enjoy basic bouquet for free. Enjoy variety of entertainment including Hello Mr. Right on Makula Chika, Kazanya Kukazanyo on Makula, animations and cartoons on Boeing, series on TLC and Star Life. Even better, we have added all your favorite local channels. So make this the unforgettable holiday. More content, help your family.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break. Earlier, we're discussing the issues to do with the women empowerment program that has been rolled out by government and what it means to the women entrepreneurs. Remember, this is coming at a time when so many livelihood programs have been really rolled out, and women and the young people, I mean the youths, and the youth livelihood support program, and also the women empowerment program, that is the entrepreneurship program, that is OWEP, have been so much really into the communities. But what happens is most of these programs have been not really been able to achieve their target, just because there were loans, there were revolving funds, but the way of really channeling the programs have not been really so much. And if you look at the conversations around this, is the politicking around the programs that have been rolled out is one thing that affects this greatly. And I already told you that the issues to do with the rebel attacks is still continuing. Remember, yesterday at Kibale National Park, there were two ADF rebels that are suspected to have come and start doing their own operations in that National Forest Reserve. Actually, National Park have been killed, and this was during yesterday's operation by UPDF. And remember, there was also communication by President of this country, that is His Excellency Yoweri Museveni Kaguta, instantly after that, over 200 ADF rebels, that is the allied forces, those rebels who have been really giving hard time to Uganda and DRC, have been killed in the month of September, and this is during the operations in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Now that the East African Community Army, or the troops, have been withdrawn from the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. This is after the government that is of under the leadership of Felix Tshisekedi said, no, we don't want these officers or the peacekeepers of UN not here again, because now we have seen that they are not doing so much, and we want those from SADC region to come and do. And remember, now it is under the leadership of the South African Development Corporation, that community, which is now doing the operations of evicting or flashing out the rebels in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. But let's leave all those outlines there. Let's come to what I told you. We are moving to education sector and seeing that the stories around international studies has been really a very great thing there. But many people enjoyed it. Many have been deceived on the issues of sponsors. Remember the stories around Muslims who were deceived from Yumbe district and many parts of this region to go for study in Kampala, where some people were trafficked and they were intercepted around Karuma. And remember the stories of the young children who were taken in the names of studying Quran in Kampala, and they found themselves in DRC as children who were carrying guns with the ADF and the M23 rebels. And they were mentioning that I come from Tanganyika ward, that is in Arua City, and this is quite unfortunate. And we want to see how really people should be able to look for those genuine opportunities. How should they be able to really get to know that really, yeah, this is a genuine sponsorship, and these are the persons I should be able to contact. And also, wherever I'm going, there's an assurance that I'm going to a safer place. And remember, there are so many people who have been recruited to go as casual laborers to the Middle East. And many of them have come as dead bodies. Many of them have called back to look for transport for coming back. Many of their visas have been confiscated. And all this are attributed, especially around the region of sponsorship, around the region of employment, and many other things. And this is where we are coming to. And I have a guest in the studios, that is Chantia Norman, one of the beneficiaries of the scholarships and also what we will term as a studying abroad. And we are here with him. We'll be taking you throughout these discussions and seeing how really people should be able to really see those studies abroad being a very rightful venture, and they're able to get something from them. And Chandia, you're most welcome to SNL TV.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Okay, yeah, that is him. And let's start it straight away from there. I knew you as somebody who deals a lot in health, and you decided to go for study. How were you able to get this opportunity? Let's start it from there.
Yeah, once more, thank you for having me. Yes, we met for so many times in the district programs.
Yes.
I was actually working with non-governmental organizations within the region here and in the Acholi and Lango sub-regions. I have basically been doing health system strengthening NGO work with health facilities. So we met in the districts as we were having maybe inception meetings or follow-up of some of the programs.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I have been working in that space for about 10 years. So I decided to go to school, and it's good to go to school to add knowledge, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so you have talked about so much of these opportunities. So I applied actually for some of the scholarships that exist, credible scholarships, and I was able to get one of them, and that is Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth scholarships. And I was able to secure a scholarship to go and study public health, master's in public health. I have just actually come from Ghana. I have been there for the past 1 year. I'm here for a small leave, and I'll be going back.
Okay.
Yes. So
okay, how were you able to really understand that maybe this opportunity coming from Commonwealth is going to be really a genuine one? Because we have seen so many people creating a lot of websites. Even you go beyond verifying on a website, but it is always hard to know those persons behind that. We have seen so many blogs created in the names of such opportunities. I remember when Yubo said we're going to recruit people and to do census, you saw so many blogs already coming that we have 6,000 jobs available, Yubos and so on, and yet you saw that news coming to be fake. So how were you able to verify this, that it's a genuine opportunity and you needed to really apply for it?
No doubt, there are a lot of scams out there. A lot of scams exist. And some of the scams go up to the extent that it's very difficult to know them. However, all these scholarships that exist, for example, we're talking about Commonwealth scholarship, has existed for ages. And Commonwealth scholarships are for Commonwealth countries. That's just one of the examples. There are many other scholarships that are credible. However, one of the first no-go areas for anyone who wants to look for a scholarship is when somebody is already looking for money, is asking you to pay for money. You know that's a no-go zone area. Because none of these credible scholarships that have existed for ages never ask for a penny from you. You will never pay anything. For myself, when I started applying, from the day I put my interest to apply to the day I went to school, I never saw the people. However, the communications have been credible. Everything has been done in a way that you know that you are actually dealing with authentic people. I never paid a penny. And yet I've not met the people who are actually supporting me. So when people start asking for application fee, you are paying some kind of money to do some visa, to process something, you just have to stop, because you know you are actually getting to be scammed. And sometimes these scams are not small monies. People have lost a lot of money. I actually know one or two people who have lost money in these ways, but it is sad. But I'm actually here to say that those scholarships, the authentic scholarships, exist. However, when you're looking for them, be careful. let's look at the Commonwealth scholarships. Every year, as we talk, they are running. Every year, these scholarships are advertised, and they have their platforms. And the platforms, when you look at them, you know that this actually is authentic. And as I said earlier, when no one is asking you for anything to pay, you can proceed. Well, there are one or two other things that usually make people not to proceed with those scholarships because, or maybe of the way it is, it's hard. You know, it is hard to write these scholarships. It is hard to be able to write a strong scholarship application to be able to compete with other people. And you know, maybe that brings me to say why our people may not be getting these scholarships, because one, it is possible that there is lack of exposure. That is possible. Two, it is possible that apart from the exposure, the information is not enough. Two, it is possible that we do not know how to do it. We do not know how to write these scholarships applications. Maybe we could go through what we actually need to do to be able to win these scholarships, and what scholarships are actually existing there that are credible. I could mention a number of them, because
you can mention, so that people are able to know which ones are genuine, and also they are able to also follow. So
let's look at the Commonwealth scholarships. Currently, as we talk, one of those that are running is called Commonwealth Shared Scholarships. It is, I think, either the deadline is either this weekend or it may have stopped. I'll check that. The Commonwealth scholarships have a number of scholarships that they run under that commission. So we have Commonwealth Shared Scholarships, we have Commonwealth Masters Scholarships, we have Commonwealth Distance Scholarships, we have Commonwealth Split Scholarships, that's for PhD, and then there's one for gender, also Commonwealth. And Uganda, being a Commonwealth country, benefits from all these scholarships. Anybody, any student in Uganda here applies for those without paying anything, because you're already in a Commonwealth country. And then we have Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth scholarships, and that's the one I am on. There is what we call Association of African Commonwealth Universities in Africa and in the Caribbean. So the universities have come together. They exchange students amongst themselves. However, for this scholarship, you apply to a country, to a university other than your own country. That means for the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth scholarships, you don't apply in Uganda. Makerere is a member of that university association, Association of Commonwealth Universities. So, but you cannot apply to Uganda as a Ugandan.
So you choose to where to go?
You choose another place. So you apply to another country. That's how I was able to go to another country. Like a Ugandan can apply to go to Kenya, you can go to South Africa, you can go to the Caribbean, you can go to Malaysia. So those scholarships are, you as I said, you don't apply to a university within your country.
So who caters for all this transportation, the visa, and all of these things?
Now, these scholarships, it comes to you as a package. What comes in this package is one, from your flight ticket. Right from your flight ticket is processed. And once your flight ticket is processed, you're able to go to your country where you're going to have the scholarship. And then the scholarship comes with tuition, full paid tuition. It's fully paid. You have monthly stipend. And then you have some money given to you to be able to take care of some of the requirements that you may need. There's also initial payment, initial deposit for you to be able to, when you are getting into a new environment, you need some money, because you know that some of the people who will be beneficiaries may not have been working. So you don't have any money with you. So that money will help you to be able to settle down, to buy some of the requirements, like you need to buy a computer, you need to buy some of the things that are the academic requirements. So that comes in a package, and that package is what actually helps you to have your study completed right from the beginning up to the end. You actually don't need any other money or support from anyone because it is fully paid for. Yes.
Okay. I've been reading one of the biggest stories that is shaping the world, that Canada has actually increased the cost for international students, and this is like 100%, where from 10,000 Canadian dollars to really over 20,000 Canadian dollars, and this is actually something in the regions of 58 point something million Ugandan cedis. So what does this mean to the Ugandans who want to maybe go and study abroad? Should we only look at the opportunities that exist in terms of the scholarships, or we can be able to even privately sponsor ourselves?
Certainly, you know, we in this space, there are those who can afford.
Yeah.
And actually, I say, if you're able to afford, it's even better for you. Because the scholarships we're talking about, the competition is stiff, very difficult to sometimes get. And you know, a number of times you apply once, twice, 3 times, you're not taken. So people lose interest.
Was that the same case you had?
I applied, I think, for this one, the one I went to, I applied just once, I was able to get it. But there are 2 other scholarships. I applied twice, I did not get them. That happens.
Okay.
So when you lose interest, everything gets, you don't get it. But when you are resilient and you keep applying, you'll get it. So coming to that question, if you are able to afford these abroad studies, if you're able to afford the tuition, the living costs, I will really encourage you to do it, because the exposure you get out there when you are going for these studies is immense. One, you are creating networks, you know, you are improving on your social capital, and the networks you are creating is going to help you a great deal. So for Ugandans who want to go to Canada, Canada is one of the countries that are actually liked by international students, especially from West Africa. As you know, East Africa here, not so much or so many of us get interested to apply for those international opportunities. But for Ugandans going to Canada, that cost, I know, with our setters, our economic setters, sometimes it is very, very difficult.
Very exorbitant.
Very, very, very difficult.
We are failing to even pay 3 million.
It is very difficult.
In universities.
Because the tuition alone, when you just look at it, you lose interest. And added onto that, if you look at the living costs are exorbitant. You cannot just compare that with our living costs of buying lands for 3,000, 2,000. That is not it.
Even 1.5.
You better don't go to
buy water at 500 on top.
Yes. So if you beat your chest, yes, I can go. It's good. You can go, but make sure that you go through the right agencies. There are agencies that exist. I think in Uganda we have some. They help people to process visas, but in that space you have to be very careful, because you can easily lose everything you have had. But I think in Uganda there are some agencies that are helping people to work the visas, some permits out there. Maybe when you visit them and you do some research work for yourself, you can be able to go. So I encourage anybody who wants to go and is able to afford, you go. If you're not able to afford, apply once, twice, 3 times. Who knows, you will get it. The only thing is that if you do not apply, you don't get it.
They don't call you. Okay, this brings me to the issues of the scholarship that is offered by State House. And many people have seen this centered around maybe the powerful persons, especially the MPs, maybe their relatives, their children are the ones going. Is this the same perception you have because really we have seen many people saying actually regionally it is not balancing. How is your feeling about the State House scholarship that we have in this country? That is generally for Ugandans.
Now, for State House scholarships, the truth is, I know 1 or 2 people who have benefited from this scholarship. Some of my classmates actually did medicine, and they have graduated. But how they got these scholarships, it's very difficult to explain. What I know is that by the time they applied, there were some quotas allocated for regions. So you know that from Western region will have some number of applicants who will be selected, and out of them maybe the best chosen. By that time, I think that was happening. But now I don't know what is happening. I think now it's very difficult to get these scholarships. One, you do not know what the requirements are. 2, you do not know who to apply to, when to apply. I have never seen the adverts openly done, because anything that is for the state, anything for the public, should come out openly. There should be an advert so that people express interest. But maybe there's a way it is done, there's a way it is handled, so I do not know. And you just alluded to it. Maybe it is the relatives, 1 or 2 people, some connections that are benefiting from this. But it is one of the hardest scholarships to ever get. So I do not know much now on what is actually taking place in terms of how to get it, how to apply for it, whom to contact. Actually, that information is very difficult to get.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We'll really move back to that discussion later on. And for those of you who are interested in applying, those are some of the issues that you should be able to consider while applying. And remember, one of this is to really look at from the time you're applying, from maybe when you are putting your application, what is happening is what you should be able to see. Is it that they are asking for you to really deposit some money? Is it that they say you should go and maybe pay something something there to do something? Those are things you should be considerate about. But also checking the background of the countries where this said sponsorships are coming, or maybe where these studies are going to be conducted, is also very important. Maybe sometimes your safety matters. There are some countries that are experiencing unrest. So those are things you should be able to surveil before you do something beyond that. Maybe how were you able to scan and say today me I've zeroed to go for for a study at Ghana? What did you do?
Okay, that brings me to the question of what is required for this.
Maybe before that, what came in your mind that you want to go to Ghana?
Yeah, it is.
What was it that you did first?
It is part of the application process that actually led me there. I had 3 countries I was to go to, either South Africa or Ghana or Malaysia. It's in the application. You choose where to go.
3 of them?
There were more than, there were about 10.
No, I mean the options. Yes, how many did
I had 3 options, either South Africa or Ghana or Malaysia. So what leads to the countries is, 1, your interest. What course do you want to study? Does the university that you want to apply to, does the university offer the course of your interest? That's actually how I got myself in Ghana. But on top of that, there are other things you have talked about, what the countries are able to offer. I know that Ghana has, in Africa here, Ghana has one of the good, if I can say good, democratic practices that exist within our continent here,
Africa.
So when I looked at Ghana, I said, this is a good opportunity, let me go there. Because South Africa, the course I wanted to study was not there. Malaysia, the course I wanted to go for was not there. So I got myself going to Ghana. So that's why I was saying that some of the requirements of the application process actually lead you to somewhere to go. So it actually brings me to some of the things that you need to do to be able to know where you are going and how you can go there. Maybe I could briefly talk about that.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So what is required for you to be able to get into some of this, to be able to write a winning or a strong scholarship application? One,
maybe you will explain those ones. Let's first take a break, and
okay.
we'll take it from that break.
Okay.
And then we'll come to this, and then if there are concerns out there, people should be able to say.
Yeah.
We are still there with you, and this is the Kokoliriko Live that comes here every Monday to Friday with me, Federick, Dramadri, on West Nile Television. But also, if you have any other issue that you want to know about scholarships or studying abroad, this is the right time. You can share your comments on the YouTube channels that we have. Most importantly, we'll be able to project them, but also read them here for the guest to actually respond to. Certainly, let's take a break.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Serve your family the bigger feast this Christmas with StarTimes upgrade to Kongere promotion. Nova customers on satellite decoder simply pay 20,000 shillings special bouquet monthly subscription to enjoy smart bouquet for free. Enjoy variety of entertainment including Hello Mr. Right on Makula Chika, Kazanya Kukazanyo on Makula, animations and cartoons on Boeing, series on TLC and Star Life. So make this the unforgettable holiday. More content, happier family.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break. We're still proceeding with the talk about studying abroad and also really scholarship opportunities that are out there for us Ugandans, for us people who want to really continue with education. What is it that we need to do in order to tap some of these free opportunities? I call them free because they are sponsored. So what can you do as a poor child of a peasant? What can you do as a poor son who would want to go with education further and has not even been able to accumulate any money? Whether you are doing maybe a petty business somewhere there, you don't have money to even go and even just getting to a bus terminal and boat to go to Kampala becomes difficult for you. So you have a chance to really get opportunities outside there that are genuine and where you are able to at least get something. I'm still here with Norman Chantia, who is one of the beneficiaries of the fully sponsored scholarships for studies in Ghana, and we are talking about what needed to be done. How can people be able to understand that these are genuine adverts that they can be able to write the applications to, and also the persons they are dealing with are genuine ones, and where they will lead them will be where there is success, not really coming back with misery. He's one of the examples, and he's trying to share with us how he has been able to make it, and also trying to get to you that there's hope, that even if you write it for the second or fifth time and you failed, you should not be really able to back off, but try it more. But even consultations are very, very important. Sometimes we want to do things alone in secrets, and that's where sometimes we end up getting to scammers, and also maybe sometimes conmen, sometimes the traffickers. These are really the very, very grave things things that we have been able to see, witness, and also be able to see for ourselves that people have been suffering in the hands of these kind of scammers. And it's very, very important for you to really get to what is actually being discussed here. And if you are someone who has interest in education, this is where you should be able to pay attention keenly to one or two things that you may take for your benefit. Most importantly is to consult with the people who have been able to go through. How should I write it? Sometimes you may not know that the choice of words has not been able to convince the sponsors, okay? So these are people who have benefited. If you go to them, you can be able to at least be able to get yourself at least through. If we work together, we'll be able to really achieve that. Maybe, Norman, we are on the issues to do with how people should be able to know where to go, and also how they should be able to look at the type of courses that have been advertised, the type of universities, and where safe they can be able to study. We are on that. Maybe you can go back to where we left.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The question is, are you applying?
Mm-hmm.
Are you applying? For how many times are you applying? Is it that you apply once and you have not been taken, you have not been considered, and that is all? Is that all? Because if you are not resilient, if you think that applying once is enough, I can tell you, you may not get into that, you may not get that opportunity. I was just giving you an example of how the West Africans are very shrewd in terms of getting these scholarships, because one, they put in a lot of efforts. They do a lot of reviews of their essays. They consult a lot. Because no one is just going to get a multi-million scholarship to give to you for a small work you have done. You just get up, you think writing this application for 1 or 2 days is enough, you submit. It's very difficult for somebody to give you a multi-million scholarship to study abroad for a minimal work you have done on your application package. And that's where the competition comes in. Because so many people are applying. If your application does not favorably compete with the other people, no doubt.
Maybe how many days did you spend, or how many words did you put in your application?
I spent
some people who write 100 words and they feel it is the summary of what they can do.
I spent 3 weeks on my application. 3 weeks. Well, what happens is this. One, there are requirements for this essays. One, the most important thing is your grades. What are your grades? We know that our grading system is like we're using the GPA system, where somebody's having first class, second class upper, second class lower. But this grades is not alone. That means for those of us, the students who are currently there in school, please work hard and make sure that you have good grades. That is the starting point. Number two, once you have those grades, I have seen people with second class lower getting these scholarships. Okay? So when I talk about grades, don't think that it's only first class. No.
The second class upper.
I have seen somebody with a second class lower getting those opportunities. So that is first. Number two, you are usually asked to give recommendations. I mean, somebody recommends you for these scholarships. Whom do you choose as a recommender? Do you just get anybody who knows you and writes anything there? No. Choose somebody who is credible, possibly a leader that's known, and they should be able to write for you to comment on your academic ability. But also should write on the institutional headed letter or paper, signed and stamped. And that shows how serious that application is. There are some of these letters people write, recommendation letters, you address it there, to whom it may concern. To whom it may concern. This shows right from the beginning, if I'm the one to review that scholarship, I will look at it, I will say, they are addressing this to whom it may concern.
So I'm not concerned.
That is actually showing that Even you yourself, you don't have the interest already. So if you are writing that kind of recommendation, just know that you're wasting your time. No one will give attention to it. So when you're writing, a student comes to you and asks for a scholarship recommendation, you should be able to tailor it and personalize it. If it is going to University A and B, you are writing 2 recommendation letters. You must be able to address those recommendation letters to those universities. If one is going to Makerere University, address it to Makerere University, to a name there or to a department there. If another one is going to Muni University, address it to Muni University. If you are just writing one to whom it may concern, that so that the student can now pick it and give one here, one there, that is wastage of time. And then let's come to the essays. The essays are actual now. In our health sector, there's something we call tiebreaker when we are doing tests. That one is actually out of those requirements, what can actually make the difference? What makes a difference for you? So the essays depend, 1 on the scholarship, 2 on the universities. Some of those essays, sometimes you're asked to write up to 10 essays, up to 10, on different topics. One, they can ask you to write about your leadership experience. They can ask you to write about why you have chosen to study that course, and why you have chosen to go to this country. And then you may be asked to write maybe on sustainable development goals. Maybe goal 1, goal 3. Goal 3 is about health for all. You can be asked to write about education. Goal 4, any sustainable development goal. That means you should be learned, okay? You should be able to read. And when you're writing these essays, it should come clearly why you want to go and do this study. That means you have seen a gap, okay? And that gap you want to address it by going to school. When you finish the school, you will come back as a changed person to be able to come into that space and to do something. This should be able to appear in your essay. And as I said, the essays depend on the universities or the scholarship commission. So if they have asked you to write 1 essay, all that you're supposed to write should be able to appear there. And how do your essays get structured? 1, you look at a situation, okay? A situation. And let me give you an example of, you want to write maybe about malaria. We know malaria is our biggest problem here. So you look at a situation. What happened? Where did it happen?
What is the burden?
What is the burden? And you back that burden with a quotation or some source of information that shows that it is true that it's a burden. You write it there, you quote it. Is it from World Health Organization? Is it from UNICEF saying that malaria, yes, our Ministry of Health, to show that malaria is truly a burden. You write it and you quote it. That shows that you have researched about it. And then, so that is the problem. Then you look at some practical example. Maybe at a health center in Adomi, something happened. If you were a health worker, what did you do? What was your role in that situation? And so, what was the impact of your action? So you see, you have looked at what is the problem, where has it happened, when did it happen, what did you do, and what is the impact. This makes your story complete. Okay. And there's a flow, and it shows that you have done something. So when you have this kind of thing in your essay, it communicates. I try to tell people always, I have been now actually reviewing 1 or 2 essays. What makes people fail these essays, or even the recommendation letters that they are being written, is going to the internet, copy and paste. Because a lot of the templates exist online. You can go to just Google, you say scholarship essay templates, you'll get thousands. So you just go there, you copy and paste for yourself with a little edits so that it looks to be
Looks
your own
like
work.
yours.
Yes, that you have written it yourself. But what people do not know that is that all of these things you write, the essays, even the recommendations, they are subjected to a software, the Turnitin, or let's just say the plagiarism check. All the essays you have written will go through scanning.
Are these your words?
Yes. Are they
the
picked
right
from
things?
this source of any source from internet? Where are they from? So the plagiarism software will be able to show that you have picked this work from here, from here, and from here. And believe me, once that software has shown that this part of the scholarship essays or your work or your application package has some work picked from somewhere, all the essay reviewers or the application reviewers will put your work aside. And that is, it's done. It's done.
Wow.
No one is going to look at it. And he will say now, hey, I've been writing, why are they not looking at, they're not taking me. And it's because I told you it is very stiff competition. They are looking for any small problem. Have you followed the instructions? The instruction says upload your documents. Document A, B, C, D. You have missed out one.
Then they put it aside.
They put it aside. Because it's not meeting the requirements that have been prescribed. So have you followed those requirements? So many reasons why these essays or application in general, in totality, are rejected. So have you followed those instructions? Have you written a good competitive essay that is able to compete with the other students who are applying? Another thing that I always look at, have you followed the deadline? If they say that the scholarship applications should end next week on Friday, the best thing for you to do is to work your things ahead of time and submit them before that deadline, because chances are high that so many people won't look for that last day and they want to submit on that last day, and many times the systems
not work
exactly
on that day.
exactly the systems get clogged because so many people want to send in the applications. So sometimes you get that happened with me once. You find you're trying to send, it's not going. You are trying to send, it bounces back, and time is going. So to avoid that,
riches.
yes. So to avoid that, it's better for you to actually do your things ahead of time. If you can submit at least 1 week earlier, that is actually, you are safer. To avoid that last minute runs up and down, and sometimes you are not able to check your errors that exist because you are rushing. One thing I did not talk about is like the grammatical errors that exist in our write-ups. We're now using English for everything, and
mixing American English with the
yes,
British English.
Exactly. So when you're writing, there are free tools that exist. For example, Grammarly. Grammarly helps you to check. You can check whether your flow has been consistent, your write-up has been engaging. Is it engaging? How correct is it? How complete is it? So Grammarly can help you to do that. Actually, it's free. It's free online. You just get it. You put your essay there. It tells you these are errors here and there. You try to edit accordingly. One thing now that has come up, it's a new thing, is AIs. You know about AIs, right?
What is that?
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I may know, but others don't know. Yes.
Artificial intelligence assisted write-ups. What happens is that because of this era of AIs, you can just ask the AI to write for you a scholarship essay. You just put it there. They have asked you to write about Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is quality education. So you ask AI, you put that question that the Scholarship Commission has given you, you put it on AI, you ask it to write for you. And it will generate for you a nice
Right up.
write up.
Within seconds and you're done.
Within seconds, you just pick it and put it for yourself. After all, it is the AI that has written it. But the bad news is that there are platforms that check, that will show that this is AI generated work.
Okay, that is it, and I hope you as the viewer, you're enjoying and also really trying to understand something from this. And we're left with 1 minute. Unfortunately, we wanted to proceed, but we'll be having news shortly just after this, and that will be brought to you by Mukla Lawrence. That is the news in Lugborati, which will be coming shortly. Now, baby, let me have your winding up words. Maybe we'll get more time next time when you come around and show on. We'll be really able to discuss more on this. People wanted to really hear a lot about this, but we are now cut up by off by time. Maybe your last words to the viewer, and we'll show we'll be parting away from here.
Yeah. Thank you. First of all, thank you for what I said, for hosting me. My message to the viewers in all platforms is that, especially the students, especially those you have finished or you are still doing your undergrad and you want to apply, my message to you is you work hard, but the working hard should not stop at writing once and that's all. Do at least 1, 2, 3, and the good thing is the more you write these applications, the more you get experience. But also, if you can get 1 or 2 people to help to review your applications, that will be good. So I encourage you to apply all the time so that you can benefit from these free opportunities that exist for us. Let's not leave it for other people. In Uganda here, we are not anywhere in the picture. Actually, if you compare ourselves to other regions, yes, we have people who have benefited, but when you compare, we cannot compare ourselves. The numbers are not there. So let our people benefit from these opportunities. I have been sharing some. I have some platforms where I've been sharing here and there. Please, when you get them, especially if you're also a parent, encourage your child to apply. Encourage them. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. All right. We welcome that. We appreciate your coming, but also it is not easy to get these people, especially the beneficiaries of these mighty opportunities that do exist around the globe. And you've been one in West Nile, and the whole of Uganda, seeing you alone going to Ghana for that study, we appreciate it. And once you come around, please pass by. And also extend our greetings to people who are there, studying there, and also we should be able to take our colleagues to do this with us. We should not be alone, and also be able to share knowledge just like we've been doing it here. We appreciate your time for coming, and also we wish you the best as you go. That is Santia Norman, who is one of the beneficiaries of the scholarship opportunities under Commonwealth. And behind the camera is Dijon Pro, and also in the production I have Aldo, who is the producer for this show there. We appreciate you people. Up next we'll be having the news in Lugborati that will be brought to you by Mukla Lawrence. Bye bye for now, and we'll catch up again tomorrow for the same show here on West Nile Television.